me to welcome all of you, and we have many participants today. Before getting into this general information day on the second call, I would like to provide you some additional information. You can use the chat and you can get in contact also with other participants. We do not have the possibility to have an interactive session today. The main purpose today is only to provide you the general information on the next call. Why a second call on green transition? The Mediterranean Sea basin is a hotspot in terms of climate change, and it has been severely affected by all these extreme events that we have all experienced. Moreover, the program strategy has a clear address to tackle the environmental challenges. We have many specific objectives dealing on this. Therefore, the main objective is to finance projects which address critical climate changes while promoting the sustainable growth, the adaptation, the resilience, and just transition. We are going to have 1 hour and 30 minutes, more or less, session today. Some important topics will be tackled today. Beside a general view of the program, and I would like, first of all, to thank my colleagues from the branch offices and from other colleagues from the managing authority who will deliver the presentations together with me. Beside the overview on the Interreg program, we will then jump into the contents of this green transition call. In particular, the program has tried to adapt its program strategy to the climate change challenges in order to make the best out of what we have already planned in terms of specific objectives, trying to identify the key environmental aspects of each specific objective. This means that potential applicants, potential beneficiaries should actually focus on the terms of references of these thematic terms and references of this specific call, which will be presented today. And therefore, I would like to ask you to pay attention to this document and to read it very carefully in order to have a successful proposal. The last part of today will be tackled to the main features of the call for proposals. So we will provide you with some information on the rules for participating in the call, and also on the type of projects and what we are basically expecting from your side. The very last part of the event will be devoted to some important tools to allow the building of the partnerships. Building of partnerships is actually one of the main challenges of our projects, and therefore our colleagues have developed an innovative tool which will be presented to allow and facilitate the partner search. Last but not least, we will unveil the launching date of the call and the dates of the info events that we usually carry out in each participating country. So please stay tuned, and you will be able to discover the dates and the date of the launching of the call and how long it will be open till. I stop here and pass the floor now to my colleague Esmat from the Aqaba branch office, who has 10 minutes to provide you the overview of the Interreg NEXT MED program, the mission and the vision. Thank you, Esmat. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Aldo, and good morning to all of you. We are looking forward, as my colleague Aldo just mentioned, to give you a brief overview about the program. I will try now to share my presentation. Please, if you can confirm that you can see my presentation, yes, my screen. You can see my screen
now,
Sorry.
We can see your screen.
Okay, so uh, uh, so I will start my presentation and to give an overview about what is the program, what is the Interreg Next program is. The Interreg Next program or the Interreg is an instrument by the European Union that enhance or support cooperation between regions and countries around around the Mediterranean and around the EU borders. The program, which is related to the Mediterranean, is started since 2007, and the current is the largest program for external cooperation that is funded by the program. Building this program, the Interreg Next program, we can say is the third stage of the program. We have previously ENI CBC MED program, ENPI program, and this is the third phase. And building on the experience from the previous two program, which is as a general, there was about 175 projects, including more than 1,300 participating organizations, and included about 400 million euro has been invested during this program. The current program benefited from the previous two programs, and they may have been built to facilitate and to enhance cooperation between the partner countries around the Mediterranean. The main focus of the program is to have a joint prosperity, stability, security, and through joint working, establishing joint solution for the common challenges around for the countries participating in the program. The main principles of this program is the co-ownership, which means that all the participating countries, they have the vote and they have the right to take decision. There is equal cooperation. The cooperation is open, and we are looking for a balanced partnership, which include both shores of the Mediterranean, as well as the shared benefits. The shared benefits, that which means that any results, any good practices resulted from cooperation projects could be disseminated or scaled up to the other countries or participating in the program, or as well as to the other countries. So we are in this program, we are facilitating, we are enabling connections and building a bridge networking between many communities and organizations around the Mediterranean. There is also, we are a provider for the collective solution that could improve the situation in the Mediterranean, could improve the livelihood of the people who are living in the Mediterranean area, as well as we are in this program try to catalyze the sustainable and harmonized growth, and empowering capacity building of all stakeholders, and to turn the challenges into opportunities, to have a very thriving Mediterranean future. So this is what we are looking for. As the program has 15 participating countries. There were over 100 territories, more than 200 million people. They are living in this cooperation area, and the total budget of this program is 263 million euros for supporting cooperating projects and activities. The main vision of the program, which is summarized under the main 4 priorities, we are looking for a more competitive and smarter Mediterranean, more greener and low carbon, also Mediterranean, a social and inclusive Mediterranean, as well as a multi-level governance. We are building a good governance within the Mediterranean area. These are the main 4 priorities of this program. Under these 4 priorities, there are 9 specific objectives. We will see later, my colleagues explain later that your project should be take to one of these specific objectives. The program is working through calls for proposal. The first call for proposal has been launched end of 2004, finished by, and deadline was in May 2024, and now we are in the final phase of evaluating the project proposal. What we would like to see that there are about 630 projects has been submitted asking or requesting for 1.3 billion euro contribution. The first outcome of or the result from the first step, 112 project proposal has been admitted to the step 2 that is now under evaluation, requesting 228 million, about million euros. As you can see from these simple numbers, that this program is very competitive. There is a lot of competition between partners, and for good to have a very good proposal. So we would like to ask you, as potential beneficiaries from this program, when you are thinking for a proposal, please think for a innovative, a high quality project proposal that is needed for the Mediterranean area, and it will solve a common challenges inside the Mediterranean. This chart showing you how now the distribution among the proposal that has been submitted and that is recommended for the project for the step 2 of the proposal. As I said, we have 9 specific objectives. So as you can see here, that there again, I would like to highlight to have a very good proposal. So this is the distribution of the project proposals among the specific objectives. What I would like to share with you, very important messages we have learned from this first call from the proposal and the first step. There is, as I said, a lot of interest, and there is a massive participation in the program. So please concentrate on building a high and very innovative, very needed project proposal. In general, the success percentage is about 20%. So 20% of the submitted proposal has been admitted to the step 2. 65 projects were rejected mainly at the first, the administrative check at the first stage. This means that we all the project proposal, all the document that is needed should be provided correctly and should be filled in very accurate way. About 220 proposals out of the 631 submitted did not meet the minimum threshold. As my colleagues later will explain to you what is this threshold and what is the minimum threshold that the score that should be reached by the proposal in order to be moved to the next step. This emphasizes the importance of the quality of your project building or development. It is very important, as I mentioned many times, you should have a very innovative proposal, a high quality proposal in order to be very competitive to be awarded. The program this time, they are concentrated on youth. So they have allocated some budget for youth-oriented projects. So now from the step 2, 10 youth-oriented project has been moved to step 2 out of 25 projects have been submitted. Reduced competitions over opportunity, but more proposals are needed. So we are looking for a high quality proposal. I would like to stop here. I ask you to follow all the program website, to follow us on all the social media, to have a very more ideas, more view about the expected projects from this second call of the proposal. I will stop here. Thank you, and I will give the floor back to Aldo. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Esmat. And I would like to also underlining a couple of key messages on this first presentation. First of all, you do not need to be discouraged about the high numbers. Our calls are very competitive. However, here what makes the difference is the quality of the proposal, and that's why we are encouraging you to carefully read the thematic terms of references, which will be actually the key of success for your proposals. The second point concerns the focus on the youth. You will see that young generations are key actors for our projects, and this is something that we have started in the first call, and you will find also in this second call for green transition projects. I leave the floor now to my colleague Martin Eibel, who will enter into the details of the thematic terms of references, trying to provide you how you should read the specific objectives of the program in a green transition, with a green transition eye, I would say. Martin, the floor is yours. You have about 15 minutes. Thank you.
Okay, good morning to all. Thank you very much, Aldo. Thank you very much, Esmat. So I'm going to give you an overview of the terms of reference, which is one of the documents that has already been published together with the pre-information on the call for proposals. And it's really a key document if you really want to understand what the program is expecting from you in terms of aligning your projects with the expectations of the 15 participating countries that have collectively drafted this very ambitious call for proposal. As it was already highlighted by Aldo, there's been a huge effort of the program team to really fine-tune our strategy towards a green impact and a green transition approach. So we have adapted our 9 specific objectives to the requirements of projects really dealing with adapting and mitigating to the impact of climate change. So we haven't changed our strategy. We have rather adapted it, and it's being evolved to the also changing conditions across the Mediterranean area, with the very fast acceleration of the consequences of climate change. So it's a key document. It's available on the website. You need to read it carefully. There is quite a significant thematic offer really to inspire you to develop project ideas. I mean, we've been working across the 9 specific objectives of the program to give you some insight on how projects dealing with SMEs development or health or innovation could deliver for the green transition across the Mediterranean. So it's something you have to read together with your partners and reflect on the list of indicative actions between, because the document is really structures across an offer of proposals of indicative actions across the NEM-specific objectives. And in our approach, in our philosophy, indicative actions should be really translated into specific objectives at your project level. So you'll find plenty of inspiration in the terms of reference, and it should really guide you for the development of the project idea. So just a bit of context. I mean, we've been discussing a lot about how climate change is impacting our region, our beautiful region, and it's really the challenge for our generation and for the generations to come. How we can mitigate climate change, but most importantly, how we can adapt to changing conditions. Studies and the many reports that have been drafted in the past years have shown how temperatures have already increased by 20% more than the global average in the Mediterranean area. It means climate change is really happening, and it's happening fast. And we have entered, unfortunately, a sort of vicious circle, because temperatures are increasing and the perspective are quite worrisome. And this is shown by a scientific model where by 2014, it's expected that temperature in average will increase by 2 more degrees. And within the Mediterranean area, which is already a climate change hotspot, it seems that we have specific geographic hotspot that will be impacted even more. And it's expected that by the end of the century, temperature will rise by up to, in the worst scenarios, 6 degrees. And this has a lot of consequences for the way we live, the way we work, the way we eat. I mean, and we will need to adapt to this. Water shortages, which will affect a lot of people across the Mediterranean area, and the number will increase, unfortunately. Less rainfall, of course, with changing rainfall patterns, so more wildfire due to drier soils, decreasing crop yields, so not only impacting the livelihood of many people that are living out of agriculture, but also in a way threatening food supply chains and food security, and sea level that is also expected to increase by almost 1 meter by the end of the century. This is all in a report that you can find on the website of the Mediterranean experts on climate and environmental change. These are all data we have found there. So sea level increase, significant sea level increase, and since we know that a lot of people in the Mediterranean area are living in coastal area, it means that this will have also consequences on coastal cities. And we know also that climate change will, in a way, exacerbate the movement of people. There is a new phenomenon that is called climate-induced migrations, and also there we have read some reports. There are some figures available that show that in some countries, up to 5% of the population will have to move internally, if not outside of their countries, because of the consequences of climate change. So this is why this call for us is so important. We're providing some money, we're providing a platform really for you, for the Euro-Mediterranean Partnership to deliver innovative solutions that show that there is a way out, there is a way that we can mitigate, but again, we can adapt. We can adapt to changing conditions, and not only economic sectors, the society, but also the people can really adapt. We've seen the consequences. We are living the consequences. I'm not going to recall all the extreme events and the casualties that unfortunately are becoming a reality because of climate change. The tragic event of the floods in Libya in 23, the very recent flood in the Valencia region. So it's people, it's also the economy that, of course, the businesses that are suffering from this, and also the economic loss, at least in the European Union, for the next year annually are expected because of climate extreme events up to 60 billion euro. So it's people, it's the environment, but it's also the economy. So that leads us to our call, which is taking an integrated and multidisciplinary approach on the topic of climate change. So first of all, we are providing a substantial amount, a substantial budget to finance projects. I mean, at the level of our program, it's a considerable investment, 83.7 million euro for funding projects. And we are also taking that holistic approach where moving from, let's say, classical traditional environmental sectors where we know that there is already quite a lot of experience, like on water, on energy efficiency, on circular economy, and on preparedness to climate change and climate disaster. We have also decided to open the call to other topics, to other sectors which are very important also for the adaptation to climate change. So SMEs, innovation, education, and policy making. So it's a very holistic, multidisciplinary, integrated approach. And through this approach, we also want to show that the Mediterranean region can lead the way also globally, because we'll be suffering always more from the consequences of climate change. But we want to show that some solutions, through the bright minds that we have in the Mediterranean and the expertise, that some solutions can really be developed and implemented and can inspire other regions of the world. So we are starting, we have 9 specific objectives that are tackled by the call for proposal. Everything again is developed in the terms of reference. So I mean, I really invite you, my message is really to reflect on this document and to see how your project idea can fit within one of the indicative, it's always indicative action. So we're providing you really a framework. And we have, of course, the traditional sectors that have already been with the program in the first call, energy efficiency, with a focus on enhancing energy efficiency in housing stock, in SMEs, in public infrastructure, the adaptation to climate change, developing ecosystem-based approach. And this is super important right now. The recent extreme events have shown that territories need to have plans when the weather is becoming extreme, and the population need to know, public authorities need to know what to do in such extreme cases, water management and the circular economy. But the true innovation of this call, at least for us, is really greening and putting a stronger environmental focus into topics and to sectors that are not, let's say, directly related to the environmental issue. So research and innovation, where we will really ask you to push as much as possible to create that bridge for the commercialization of advanced climate technologies. We know that climate technologies will be fundamental to address climate change. So how we can accelerate what is being done, the research in laboratories, and that is put into real life applications. Very important, the role of SMEs with a two-ways approach, where on the first way, we're gonna support SMEs that want to become greener, so to reduce their carbon footprint, their impact on the environment, but also those SMEs, especially those startups that want to develop services or products that are good for the environment. So they need to be pushed in their green business models. For us, the question and the issue of skills is fundamental. If we have a generation, a set of people that know how to deal with climate change, technically on the business side and on other sector, I mean, the Mediterranean area, of course, will have a competitive advantage. So really, it's about disseminating as much as possible this culture of adaptation and to skill, reskill, upskill the workforce, people entering the job market with the right skills, really to deliver on climate change. We have the topic of health, and finally we have the topic of governance, so also on the policy making side, so how we support local authorities to advance on climate actions, which tools, the tools they need, and the interaction also with the citizens, the dialogue with citizens. So again, in the terms of reference, really, it's an easy read, it's an interesting read where you'll find plenty of indicative actions, like here I'm reporting something on circular economy. There are some indicative actions, and of course there are like some target groups you should work with. So for example, for circular economy, of course there is a strong focus on SMEs, like reducing waste along production supply chain, and also at community level, of course, implementing those recycling, upcycling program. And again, encouraging governments to be more circular, like prioritizing green and recycling products. It's a lot of information available in the terms of reference. So again, it's time really to dig into this document. The topic of health, which for us is quite innovative, and here we see plenty of possible opportunities for interesting and impactful projects. So we know that new diseases, new infection diseases that were more in southern latitudes because of climate change. Some of these diseases, like the Nile disease or other diseases, are like migrating toward the northern latitude. So we need to be ready to monitor that and to have some working early warning systems. The issue of people struggling with what has been called as eco-anxiety, so people fearing for their futures because of the issue of climate change. There have been a lot of press news about this, especially young people that are very concerned about their future because of climate change. So there are also room for developing projects on mental health consequences related to climate change. Climate hospital and facilities, health facilities also need to decrease their impact on the environment, decrease their greenhouse gas effects. So we know that also health facilities have quite a huge impact on the environment. So also here there is room really to work, and also again transmit to people a culture of healthy living that can really help us also to adapt to the consequences of climate change, what has been called low carbon lifestyle. So Mediterranean diets, low protein, low meat diets, active commuting. There is a lot to do. So how we see our projects, how we see the impact, we always try to deliver that message that a project should have an impact at different level. Of course, the solutions, the visible pilots for the populations, for the stakeholders at technical level, this is fundamental, that we really deliver something tangible for the territories, especially through small infrastructures that are always like visible and can show people like tangibly how can we address climate change. The capacities, especially local authorities, that really need to acquire new ways of working, new skills, new professionals. So we also need to support them in that, like in adapting their policies to the changing climate conditions. Awareness for us is fundamental. Climate change adaptation can really be addressed if citizens are active in it. So we also need to engage as much as possible the people, the youngest generation, helping them a bit to change the way they live, so it's less, let's say, climate carbon. The way of work or the way of living is less touching on and less impacting on the environment, and supporting as much as possible the adaptation of public policies to the requirements of climate change. So as much as possible, try in your project development to adapt to this multiple dimension of the impact: technical awareness, capacities, and policy. A new concept that has been introduced, and there is a paragraph on this in the terms of reference, the just transition, because one of the threats of climate change and the transition, the green transition, is that some vulnerable communities are left behind and are not like fully included in the green transition. I mean, the example of this is like the revolt of the Yellow Vest in France. If you remember, it all started from tax on the fuel. So the people that need to use more their cars, so the people commuting, especially from outside big cities, the one that needs to use their car, were the most impacted by this new tax. So also in our projects, try as much as possible to introduce this concept of just transition. So the marginalized communities, which usually are the most impacted by the consequences of climate change, will be included. I mean, there are also ways like to deal on that. The SMEs that will have new legal requirements to adapt to climate change. So it's also very important that you have this concept in mind, and also this will be addressed in the project development. Keep in mind, and I will stop here, Aldo, that, and this will be developed during the info event. We'll have more time to talk about this, that there are like some pillars of a successful project for us. It's written here. It's a Mediterranean impact, not just a local impact, it's a transnational impact. And as much as possible, try not to reinvent the wheel, but really develop on existing solution and try to further develop them and really to have a tangible impact. I mean, our projects really need to deliver for the people, for the territories, for the stakeholders. So that's all for me. There are some documents already available as pre-information on the call for green transition projects. It's time now to develop your project idea. So when the call is launched, you're already ready to fill in the application form. Good luck and see you around the Mediterranean area. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Martin. While my colleague Vincent gets started with his presentation, I would like to underline the importance of the terms of references. I mean, we've made this huge effort in order to provide you an interpretation of the program strategy on a green transition way, and you have plenty of indicative actions. I would like only to remark that the indicative actions that you will find in each specific objectives are only indicative, in the sense that you can find other actions, or you can try to identify other actions, but I think that the message here is that no matter which topic you are addressing, but the important thing is that you address it in a green transition approach. I leave now the floor to our colleague Vincent Ernoux from the Valencia branch office. I will actually share the presentation with him. He will start on the main features of the call, and I kindly ask Vincent to make it in 15 minutes if possible, and so we can still be on time in closing the event by 10:45. Thank you very much.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much, Aldo, Martin, and all the colleagues for this great event that you have set up. I just saw a few minutes before that we were almost 1,100 participants connected, so that's amazing. That shows the interest that you have towards our program, and we are so happy that you are so interested and so enthusiastic about our program. I will keep it short. Of course, do not worry. Just a few hands on the main feature, some of the main features of the call that we are going to launch very, very soon. Let me check. Yeah, it's okay. So some highlights. As you have heard, Martin, this call is different to the previous one because it is a specific call. It's a thematic call focusing on the green transition. That means that this time we are open to the 4 program priorities and to the 9 specific objectives, but we have terms of reference. So the terms of reference that have been presented to you by my colleague, You have to read them, you have to know them before going to drafting up the project, to building up your project, because this is, of course, absolutely essential. Each proposal will be focusing only on one specific objective, and this is not a secondary message. This is quite important, in fact, because many times many projects are failing because they are addressing several specific objectives, or because they are not addressing enough the specific objective, meaning that they are too wide in their approach, in their targeting the specific objective. So this is very critical message. The amount which is at stake, it's not some little money. In fact, we have 83.7 million euros. We consider this amount to be huge and to be enough to address Mediterranean challenge altogether. It's the second call, and what we will have after this one will not reach that level. So that means that it is really a unique opportunity if you want to address the green transition in the Mediterranean. We still have the 89% EU contribution standard, as we will see in a while. And we still have our golden rule, which is 50% of the budget of the projects will be allocated to the non-EU partners of the Mediterranean. So that is a critical rule of the program. Take this into account from the very beginning. We have two types of projects: the green transformation project, that are the continuation of what we called before the standard project or the classic project, and we have the eco-use project, with both of them with a duration comprised between 24 and 36 months, which we deem as enough to produce and to achieve tangible results, to create impact, and it's not too much, not too complex also. There are some requirements for the partnership. They have not changed, so if you were there in the first call, they are the same requirements. Considering that the requirements that appear on that slide are minimum requirements, that doesn't mean that this is the common situation that you face, that you will find in the projects. Usually we have more than 3 participating countries, and usually we have more than 1 Mediterranean partner country and 1 EU Mediterranean country. So this is a minimum requirement. My key message with the partnership is always the same. The good partnership is the partnership that is able and that is competent to deliver the results. The architecture, the thematic architecture of the program, of course, has not changed. This cannot be changed. We still have 4 priorities, 9 specific objectives. All of them are open in this second call, and all of them, as you will see in the terms of reference that were presented by Martin, all of them have a clear, sometimes a very clear, sometimes maybe a connection that is at first sight a bit more difficult to understand, but it is there. So there is always a clear link, relation, connection between each specific objective and the green transition, so the main objective of the call. In this slide, which of course is also available on the website, you can see the 9 specific objectives with the budget allocation of each. If you have a quick look, you can see that where we have more money this time, as we have more money in the program in general, it's for the 1.2 SMEs. You know, SMEs, they are the backbone of the Mediterranean economy, so no surprise, but you also have 12% for innovation. Innovation in this case, as for all specific objectives, innovation centered, focused on delivering green results. So have this in mind, all specific objectives with the focus of delivering green results. Not stopping more on the thematic architecture, because I know that you know it. The types of projects. So we have 2 types of projects. We have the green transformation project. So let's call them standard, strategic, but classical. So classical projects, and the eco-use projects. If you wonder yourself, what is the big difference between the 2 of them? If you are asking yourself, where should I aim at? The big difference is not only difference in budget. Yes, this is important, but the main difference is the scope and the aim of the project. If you want to go for a use-oriented project, an eco-use project, You will do it because you want to deliver to the use and by the use. And you want to empower the use through your project. That should be the core and the essence of your project, and you will have to evidence that core use mission all across your project. While if you go for the green transformation project, it is rather a classical approach, but still with some key messages to deliver. We want you to focus on small pilots, on developing, scaling, and implementing solutions. In this case, for this goal, we're talking of innovative green solutions, of course. We want your project to have a clear emphasis on pilots, so small infrastructures, demo actions, focus on pilot, that is very important, and focus on impact. With no impact, we are not going to deliver. And when we talk of impact, we are considering several types of impact. There is a technical impact, which is probably the clearer for most of you. If you are going to produce a new type of product, new type of service, a new type of process, so this is technical. But it can also be cultural, for example, by changing behaviors, and it can also be regulatory. And by this, we mean to have an impact on the policy framework that we have in all countries, in all regions of the Mediterranean. As far as the budget is concerned, the difference is rather important. So up to 3.5 million for the maximum budget for the green transformation project, and up to 2 million for the eco-use project. Mind the attention, bear in mind that there is 20% of the coal budget which is allocated to the use coal. So this is not nothing, 20%. It is an important percentage. So having this in mind, if you make up your mind and you go for the eco-use project, take this into account, because why we want to have such a type of project is because we are convinced that with the use inside the program and inside the projects, we are going to deliver better, and we are going to deliver better to our core mission, which is to create a better Mediterranean. Why? And you know that for many years now we have been working with the youth, having them in our conferences, having them as speakers in major events, and we were able to see, it's obvious, but we know it. So they bring a lot on the table. They bring their passion, their energy, but they also bring technology knowledge, savviness, as we call them, advocacy, their capacity to advocate for the green transition, which maybe we don't have, or at least we don't have at that same level. Their activism also, but also their different perspective, their capacity to think out of the box, or maybe out of our box, because they have a different perspective, a different vision. So we're not talking of use watching here, absolutely not. We're talking of bringing the full potential of the use into the project. We still have the requirement that we had for the first call for the eco-use projects. If you go for an eco-use project, you have to meet that criteria. You have to meet a criteria that you can meet in two different ways. So let's have a look at this. You will have to demonstrate that at least two partners of the partnership, so two partners, not more. If you are providing more than two, it's okay, but at least two partners that will meet at least one of the two criteria on the screen. The first criteria is that two organizations has a majority of their staff involved in the management below 30 years old. So that's one of the options. Management staff younger than 30 for two organizations. And the other one is at least two partner organizations which core mission is to work for the benefit of the young people. And you say that you see that there is a footnote, and you can demonstrate this by evidencing at least 2 years of experience in similar projects as the one that you are opting to. So two partners, and they can meet, two partners must meet these two criteria. One partner can meet the first one, and the other partner can meet the second one. So this is and or, up to you. And this is the final table for my side with the financial figures. You can see the maximum and minimum contribution that you can ask for both types of projects. So if you go for the green transformation project, the maximum contribution is 3.1 million. And if you go for eco-use, the maximum contribution that you can ask is 1.78. So we're talking of maximum. A novelty of this this call is that now the minimum requirement that you can ask is also fixed in terms of percentage, meaning that you will have to provide 11%, not more than 11%, not less than 11%. And that's all from my side. I will give the floor back to our colleagues and friends from Sardinia, and I wish you all the best within this program, and of course, all the best for the 2025. See you around, guys. Thanks.
Thank you, Vincent. I kindly ask you to switch the slides so we don't interrupt the presentation. So allow me now to focus on the next slide, which is a little bit of information on the eligibility and participation rules. Next slide, please, Vincent. Next slide, Vincent. Next, please. Thank you. Now, basically, our calls are open to a wide range of organizations. The only exception is for physical persons who are not allowed to participate, but basically we include all the main different types of organizations. I'm talking about national, regional, local, and public authorities, public agencies, universities, research centers, NGOs, civil society organizations, business support organizations, SMEs, and also international and intergovernmental organizations. For those that we have a limitation in the sense that they must have an operational office in the program area. Very important organizations, they must be legally registered in one of the 15 participating countries in the eligible territories, at least since 2 years from the launching date of the call. Therefore, this is something that you should keep in mind. In terms of eligibility criteria, now we have introduced a little bit of changes, but not so much. Basically, the main eligibility criteria remain the same. In particular, applicants and partners must be located in the eligible areas of the 15 participating countries. The list is available in the program document, but it will be also available in the guidelines for applicants. But we have introduced an exception. We call them advisory partners, and I will tell you in a second who they are. And also, you have the possibility also to have associate organizations. Basically, they can come from anywhere in the world, but they have a limitation in the sense that they cannot manage project funds. The minimum partnership requirements have been recalled by my colleague Vincent, but so we have a minimum 3 different organizations from 3 different participating countries in the partnership, at least 1 from the EU side and 1 from the Mediterranean partner side. Maximum 2 organizations must come from the same country. Therefore, if you have many organizations from the willing to participate to join your proposal, you must make a choice. So maximum 2 organizations from the same country. We have a recommendation of maximum 7 organizations in order to have a balanced partnership. And we recommend to have a balanced partnership not only north-south, but also east and west, because the balanced partnership is some of the aspects that we will take into account when assessing proposals. Next slide, please. Now, there is a limitation in the number of proposals that one organization can submit as applicant, so as lead partner. In particular, each organization can only submit one proposal per specific objective. We have 9 specific objectives. I know that this rule has always caused a little bit of constraints in terms of need for coordination, especially in big institutions such as universities, which have different departments, but the university for us is only one organization. Therefore, there is a need for coordination with the other departments in order to avoid that more departments submit a proposal as I said, as applicant under the same specific objective. There is no limitation in terms of participation as a project partner. This means that the same university can participate no matter how many times in different projects as project partner. So this limitation in the number of proposals apply only at applicant and lead partner level. In any case, we cannot award more than 2 grants to the same applicant. This means that if a university applies as lead applicant for different projects for the 9 specific objectives, we will only finance maximum 2 projects, which will be actually financed according to the ranking list. Location of the activities, there is actually a general rule that the activities must take place in the program area, therefore in the countries participating in the project, in the territories participating in the project, but there is one exception for activities outside the program area if they are duly justified and they bring added value and they are assessed case by case. Next slide, please. The new feature that I was mentioning, we have introduced these advisory partners, maximum one organization, one partner. We're talking about only at level project partners, not at level of applicant. For the applicant, the general rules always apply. But if you have a partner that comes from a non-eligible area within the 15 participating countries, for example, a partner from France, so from Paris, or from Lisbon in Portugal, from Ankara in Turkey, for example, you can involve this partner in the partnership, but be aware that the participation will be subject to a specific approval that will be made by the monitoring committee, and since the participation of this partner must be demonstrated in terms of bringing a specific and unique expertise in the partnership. The activities, in any case, must go for the benefit of the program area. So studies by advisory partners must focus on program territories. Training organized by advisory partners must be held in program area with participants from these territories. In any case, advisory partners cannot act as lead beneficiaries, as lead partner, and they must be established still since 2 years from the date of the launching of the call. Next slide, please. Next slide, please.
Aldo, I think it's the last one. No?
It's the last one?
I think so.
Okay,
yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Okay, now we stop here in terms of contents of this presentation. Obviously, today we only provided you some pills in terms of rules of participation, but obviously, as I was mentioning at the very beginning, we're going to carry out specific info events in all the countries where all the main rules of the call will be presented, and obviously we will go into detail also on the financial rules, on the other aspects that you should take into account. The rules will be obviously detailed in the guidelines for applicants, which is a document that will be available as soon as the call is launched. I stop here and give the floor now to my colleague Alejandro from the Valencia branch office. who will present this innovative tool that we have developed in order to facilitate the partner search. As I said, partner search is one of the main challenges in this program. You have seen that there are specific minimum criteria in terms of geographical representativeness of the partnership. Therefore, it becomes crucial to build well-balanced partnership. I remind you, south, north, and east, west, and most importantly, to build a reliable partnership. So this is something that is crucial, not only in this phase when preparing a proposal, but also in the phase of the implementation of the project, because reliable partners means usually possibility to achieve the expected results and to have a smooth implementation of the project activities. I leave the floor to Alex. You have the floor, Alex, and you have about 10 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Aldo, and hello, everyone. We are delighted to see such an interest here, more than 1,000 attendees in the event. And well, today we are seeing in the chat there are like many people trying to connect, trying to network, trying to find new partners. So we know how important it is to find a good partnership and the good colleagues for this endeavor, and that's why we of course want to help you. We want to make possible that you find these people. So that's why we also have created a partner search platform and a set of events that I'm going to explain you very briefly. So I will share my screen so you can see everything here. So I think that now you are seeing my screen. So apart from our program website, we have created this partner search platform, which is in this address, which is connectedmed.eu, and this site is very simple. So let's imagine that you have an idea and you want to share it with everyone to find the partners for it. So in this site, you just go to submit project idea, and you will find this form, very simple, in which you will enter your details and your and your main contact details, the title of the idea, the specific objective, the type of organization, some information about your idea. So you fill this very simple form and then you submit it. Or let's imagine that you don't have a specific idea, but you want to promote yourself, your entity, your profile, and you want to be seen. So there is this other option, which is create my profile. This form is very simple, very similar to the other one, but in this case you are not going to explain any idea, but you are rather going to talk about yourself and your entity. So you fill this form, and same thing, you register here. So whether you submit an idea or a profile, it will be reviewed by us. Okay, we just check that what you wrote makes sense, and then we will approve it. When we approve it, you will receive an email saying that your profile has been created, and you will be also invited in this email to set a password, because you are going to have a profile in the platform. And then when your idea or your profile is created, you will be visible in these other tabs, which is one is view project ideas. So in here you will find all the ideas that have been submitted here, and if you go to any of them, you can go to view profile, and then you will find more information about this idea. Or for these people who didn't submit an idea but submitted a profile, you will go to connect with members, and same thing, you will find here lots of profiles of people who are promoting themselves to be your partner. And of course you can also filter. So let's imagine that you want find a profile who wants to submit a project in this specific objective. So there are 58, and you want that it is a university. So you filter, and then you've got 16. So you can filter to find the profiles and the ideas that better suit your needs. Then when you go to any of them, so in some of them you will find that they have their email address, but in other ones the email address is not published, and the only way to contact them is through a message. And when you want to message them through the internal messaging platform, in this case you have to be logged in. Okay, so now we are going to see what happens when you are logged in. So I will log in myself with another profile that I created for this purpose. So when you are logged in here you will find this item. So if you click in here in edit profile, you will be able to change some of the data of your profile. You can also upload a picture if you want. And this other tab about my account, you also be able to change some settings about your privacy, or if you want to be visible or not, or if you want your email to be shown or not. Okay, or if you want to receive emails every time that someone messages you through the messaging platform. And that's it. So today we are having about 200 people registered, but we expect that it will grow and grow. For the previous call for proposals, I think that we almost reached 1,000 entities registered, so it will be growing in the coming days. Apart from it, I would also like to mention that in this website you will get here in how it works some instructions and some features of how this platform works. But the main thing that I want to tell you is that when you create your profile, you can only link one idea or one profile to your email address. If you want to submit several ideas, you should create several profiles with different email addresses. Okay, this is one of the technical limitations that this platform has, but I don't think it's something very severe. And as we know that sometimes it's not only about presenting yourself in a text or writing a profile, but sometimes it's also better to connect by talking. We also want to create this environment in which you can talk to each other, and you can present yourself with your own words and with your own expressions. So that's why we are also holding a set of events for partner search purposes that will start next week. So if you go to our website, in here you'll find also this article in which we explain how it works. We are going to hold these events from next 15th of January. There will be 2 per day. So there will be 9 events, for one for each of the 9 specific objectives of the program, plus 1 for the youth strand. In here you'll find the data for each of them, and you only have to click on register. You will be taken to this site in which you will register, and then you will receive the connection link, which will be done through the Microsoft Teams, and further instructions. Please bear in mind that for these events, for these people, for those ones who created a profile in here, when creating the profile, you are asked if you want to present your profile or your idea in this event. So we will contact people who answer yes, We will also contact everyone who is registered for the events, and we will sort them all. So we will create a list about to have an order in which you will be presenting yourself. So you will be able to talk, to present your entity or your idea, and you will also be able to chat with the others, to share emails, and to ask questions. And that's all about this partner search platform and events. One very last thing that I want to mention is that if you also have an idea or you want to prepare a proposal in the topic of water management, the program will have an hybrid event next week on the 14th of January in Murcia, Spain, in which we also will be streaming it online. And it will be also a good opportunity to find partners and to listen to other ideas about water management, not only for Interreg NEXT MED, but for other programs. In our website, you will find this news in which we will explain how this event works and how can you register. I will share this link on the chat right now. And that's all from my side. We really hope that this platform and these events lead you for a successful proposal, and we wish you best of luck in this challenge. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alejandro. And we now come to the very last part of this event. And as I promised at the very beginning, I will now reveal the date of the launching of the call. And I will tell you in a second. Now, the call will be launched next week, in particular the 14th of January, and it will remain open until the 15th of April 2025. So next week you will have all the documents available. The guidelines will be there, and as I mentioned also at the very beginning, we are planning at least one event in each participating country. These are actually the dates that we have agreed with the national authorities, and we will start the info events from Tunisia the 28th of January, and we will close in Athens the 13th of March. The registration to these events will be open through our program website. We really count in having you also attending these events, because as I mentioned earlier, there will be the possibility not only to learn more about the features and the specific rules and the technicalities of the call, but also there will be the possibility to raise your questions and to have an interactive event. Having said this, I stop here, and I would like, first of all, to thank my colleagues, and I invite all the colleagues also to be to turn on the webcams in order to take a pic of ourselves. And obviously, I would like to also to thank all the participants. We have reached over 1,080 participants, so we know we're talking about very high numbers, and we really hope to see you not only in our events, but most importantly in our projects and in the activities that the program carries out. Thank you again, and wish you a good reading of the documents, and take advantage of the tools that our colleague Alejandro presented, because it's a powerful tool that enables you to build strong partnerships and therefore good proposals. Thank you again, and see you around.
Thank you, Aldo. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.